Hey everyone, I'm Matt, and today we're diving deep into a hidden gem of Christian fantasy literature. If you're a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, or Pilgrim's Progress, then buckle up, because you're about to discover a world where faith and fantasy collide in powerful, imaginative, and sometimes haunting ways. The Archives of Anthropos is a 6-book Christian fantasy series written by John White. It blends biblical themes and spiritual allegory with classic fantasy storytelling. Much like Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, the series follows children from our world who are transported into a magical land, in this case, the realm of Anthropos. The Matmon, at first glance, they're Anthropos' version of dwarves. They're skilled craftsmen, master builders, and fierce in battle, but their name holds a deeper meaning. In Hebrew, Matmon means a hidden treasure. It's not just about gold or jewels. It's the word used in Proverbs chapter 2 verse 4. If you seek her as silver and search for her as for hidden treasures. As underground dwellers, builders and metalworkers, they symbolize underground knowledge, akin to gnomes or elemental earth spirits, and their connection to ancient magic, for their kingdom Kashaf literally means sorcery, gives them the dual potential for both light or shadow, depending upon their allegiance. And in the world of Anthropos, that symbolism matters. The Matmon aren't just miners of physical wealth. They represent the pursuit of something greater. Hidden wisdom, spiritual truth, the kind of treasure that lies beneath the surface of the world and of the soul. And this pursuit of hidden treasure can go astray into occultic esotericism, or it can find its target in wisdom and revelation. So when John White named them Matmon, it wasn't random, it's theological. These dwarves are a living metaphor for the seeker, those who are willing to go deep, to wrestle with the darkness, and emerge with something priceless on the other side. They're also a warning of what can go wrong if we wander off the right road. Before humans first stepped into Anthropos, before the stars over Geburah began to wheel around in prophecy, there were the Matmon. Dwarves, stubborn, powerful, builders, warriors, visionaries, and in more than one case, traitors. And this is their story, a saga of gold, of blood, and redemption. And the Matmon are more than just fantasy dwarves. They're a race shaped by prophecy and fire. Their first known rulers, King Bjorn I and Queen Bornslav, renounced that dark power known as the mystery of abomination, and in doing so they declared their allegiance to a higher being, Mikhaya, the Changer. The mystery of abomination, or simply the mystery, is likely a reference to the mystery of lawlessness in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 7, or Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and the abominations of the earth, from Revelation 17 verse 5. It has its own tower as a counterfeit of the Tower of Geburah, just as the Tower of Babel was a counterfeit kingdom in opposition to God's. The tower is an attempt to manipulate the planets and reality. It's a perversion of divine order, echoing the Antichrist's false miracles and rebellion against creation. The Tower of Darkness versus the Tower of Geburah are two towers that reflect the two kingdoms in Christian theology, the city of God and the city of man or Satan. And the Tower of Geburah is like Zion, the stronghold of God's people, whilst the Tower of Darkness is Babylon, the stronghold of evil. The Matmon assist with the fortifications for both, and as I've already alluded to, the pursuit of hidden treasure can go astray, and we can look in all the wrong places for the light. Mikhaya, the Changer, is a stand-in for the Christian God and requires the act of drinking the wine of free pardon before serving Mikhaya. Is clearly a Eucharistic or salvific motif, emphasizing grace and initiation before service. Matmon lived longer than humans. Some lived 3, even 4 centuries, and long ago they surpassed even that, stretching their lifespans across the birth of the world itself. Among the Matmon, few tales are darker than that of Goldsun, the grandson of Bjorn. Greed drove him to murder his cousin Rathson over a simple golden chain, and for this betrayal he was cast into the Lowway beneath the northern mountains, a prison where his treasure awaits untouched until 100 years have passed. Now he is known as Gold Coffin, a haunting shadow of ambition and corrupting power on behalf of the mystery of abomination. And though these events take place at the very dawn of history, it's foreseen by John in a dream. Goldsun is a Cain-like figure who murders his cousin and is marked forever by the act. His transformation into Gold Coffin, dwelling beneath the mountains, invokes images of Sheol, Gehenna, even Satan bound in the abyss in Revelation 12. He becomes a cautionary symbol, for the wages of sin is death. Romans chapter 6, verse 23. Though in his case, it's a living death of greed and solitude. The Lowway is both literal and symbolic, a descent into the shadow, the dark night of the soul, or a journey through Sheol, hell in mythical traditions. The once every 100 years gateway is archetypical of a timed, locked initiation, a motif in esoteric traditions in which certain knowledge or beings are accessible only at sacred or opportune times. And in John's dream, the murder for gold is followed by a proclamation. Gold! I will have gold. I will join the mystery. Now I shall live forever and hoard more gold than any being who has ever lived. To which a voice from the sky replies, Gold, gold for the Matmon gold coffin. And the voice invokes judgment, and like the voice from heaven in Revelation, here gold represents idolatry, avarice, and the corrupt desire to hoard material wealth. Gold Coffin is unable to leave the Lowway. He is eternally trapped in the purgation stage of spiritual development. His lust for material wealth prevents him from maturing or growing. Until he can forsake gold, he remains a prisoner of his own golden hoard. The Matmon are wanderers as much as builders. Clans such as Vorkland, Vishgoth, and Brarines journeyed from the far north, settling in Anthropos 5 centuries ago. Others like Borglum and his sons came from the mines of Placian centuries earlier. Every step of their migration carves new lands, new homes, new stories into the world. But not all of their history is one of conquest and creation. Dark forces, led by Shagar and the Angeli, enslaved many Matmon, along with half of the region's kind. Yet resilience runs deep in their veins. Under King Bjorn and his successors, many renounced the mystery of abomination and sought the guidance of Micaiah the Changer, a testament that even in the darkness, some Matmon will strive for the light. They look at the Tower of Geburah and the prophesied regions, building fortresses, preparing for the fulfillment of an ancient destiny. Matmon hands are unmatched in skill. Castles rise in weeks, tunnels carve themselves smooth as stone, and metals bend to their will. Gold holds a sacred place in their hearts and a gift, a temptation alike. As history has shown, their creations are not merely functional, they're works of enduring art. Like many depictions of dwarfs in fantasy, the Matmon have hearts as full as their halls, feasts of roast meats, cheeses and wines that fill the night. Illuminated by fireflies, accompanied by music, the Matmon eat with their fingers, laugh loudly, celebrate life with a boisterous joy. that warms even the coldest of halls. They speak through song and colour. Life-size paintings burst with vivid hues, while winter fires echo stories of past heroes and ancient legends. Through song and image, they preserve the memory of their people across generations. But the Matmon are no strangers to war. Only males between the age of 50 and 250 are permitted to fight, wielding short swords, armour-covered shields, and deadly slingshots. Legends such as Gunruth, who slew giants and dragons alike, remind us of their unparalleled skills and courage. The wolves, known as Kolch, are not mere animals to the Matmon. They're comrades, warriors, companions, spirit guides. The Matmon as surely as strength or skill. They choose between the light of Micaiah, the changer, or the dark lure of the mystery of abomination. To drink the wine of free pardon is to step into the service of the changer, a symbol of redemption and devotion, a turning away from darkness. The ancient Matmon kingdom of Keshaf once stood between Anthropos and Palatium. Its history is entwined with legend. Many lineages trace their origins to a mingling of dwarfs, men, and goblins. One tale tells of Princess Nanta, a goblin of such beauty that she caught the eye of Prince Kalungol, heir of the Matmon. Nanta was abducted at Reflection Ford and forced into marriage. From this union sprang the Habash clan, a fierce red-haired people feared for their wrath. In generations later, they were led by Inketh and Habash, the twin sons of Inklesh, who for a time acted as a kind of police force for the Circle. And yet whispers always remained of their goblin blood, that it gave them a bent towards the dark powers. Names like Reflection Ford hint at the significance of the events that occurred there. Nanta's abduction at this reflective transitional point underscores that the Habash clan's mixed heritage is destined to inherit both light and dark potential. As such, they mirror the human capacity for great good and great evil. Crossing a reflective ford can symbolize face one's own sins, desires, or destiny. It's a ford, a crossing. It's not a final destination. And during the Iron Scepter, there is now an inn at the ford. It serves as a way station, a place along the journey. The mingling of light and darkness that we see each within ourselves is part of the journey, but not the destination. It is a way station, an inn along the way. Kolungol became the first ruler of the Wed Dwarves, demanding a coronation and the title of king. Though none of his descendants would claim that name, his son Lenshesh, the firstborn, rejected kingship. In defiance of his father, he slew Kolungal and proclaimed himself the first chieftain of the Red Dwarfs, establishing a crownless tradition of leadership. Lenglesh became the ancestor of Inkleth, continuing the mingled line of dwarf and goblin. From the far north, distant clans journeyed south into Anthropos 500 years ago. The Vorklan, the Vishkoth, the Berens clans, all fair-headed and renowned for their prowess, became masters of metalwork, of sailing and warfare. They preserved their memories and traditions not through books, but through feasting, song and oral lore, carrying with them the living remembrance of their ancestral lands. Meanwhile, the ancestors of the Borgland clans rose in Palatium, dwelling in the mines and led by Borgland and his sons Borab, Norab and Dorab. With reddish-brown hair and blue garments, they were known for their close ties to the earth itself, becoming skilled miners and metalworkers. Other Matmon, following Vilkong, Bereth and Lekesh, also dressed in blue, although their black beards marked them apart. The greatest of the later Matmon heroes was Gunruth, a warrior of 168 years, still in his prime. He was descended from both Rasun and Bjorn, and bore the ancient sword, Rolglin. Gunruth's strength and valour were legendary, and he slew 2 giants in single combat, and led his clan to the heart of the Matmon resistance. His father, Guntug, was famed of slaying the dragon Akrath in the northern mountains, who had once captured Prince Galanchath. Gunrud's grandfather Throsha rediscovered the sword Blodgin alongside the prince in a cave after defeating the serpent. The sword Blodgin represents the hero's tool, or the conscious will, necessary to confront both the inner and outer obstacles. The sword itself, Blodgin, was of an even older fame, forged by the elves for Thrason, son of Bjorn. It was said to be a blade without rust, as sharp upon its rediscovery as the day it was forged. It was called the Slayer of Dragons and of Giants, a weapon that carried glory wherever it passed. Galanatar was the last surviving member of the Matmon royal family. He never married, he left no descendants, and he never ruled as king. And for that time, the Matmon had divided into separate tribal groups. Other tales remember the deeds of the Matmon and their struggles against the darkness. The southern dragon fjord of the river Ruhr was once guarded by an enchanted dragon under the command of Lord Ganan, until it was freed in ancient times. The family of Rafsan, grandson of Bjorn, continued to shape the fate of Kashaf, as Shagar bestowed upon Anan, son of Rashan, the magical crown, through which he gained control of the kingdom. The Matmon were a vibrant and culturally rich people. Their history is carved in both heroism and tragedy, shaped by legendary figures like King Bjorn, Gunruth and Ingreth, masters of construction, mining and warfare, equally devoted to feasting, storytelling and the bonds of community. And yet those internal struggles, from Gold Coffin's betrayal to the Herbash clan's questionable loyalties, reveal the constant tension within their ranks. From the beginning, their faith in the Changer, the prophecy of the region, sustained them, a beacon of hope in a world shadowed by the mystery of abomination. Later this devotion transferred to Gar. The story of the Matmon is one of endurance, of courage, the pursuit of redemption, a living testament to the power of history, tradition and destiny. And thanks for joining me on this deep dive. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next lore exploration. Have you read the Archives of Anthropos? Drop a comment below and let's talk about your favourite kingdom or character. And remember, blue light is true light. See you.